Hello, messes. How are we today? Welcome back to She's Speaking. Today we're talking about the Valley, and I am going to say something I never thought I'd say because I thought we'd already seen the worst of him. But I think Jax Taylor needs to be off reality TV. I know a lot of you have been saying that for a while, and I had maybe a problematic take about it because I was like, yeah, he's bad, but it's like, what else are we going to do with him besides watch him on TV and talk shit about him? But this last episode of The Valley made me go, wait, I don't think Jax will ever bottom out, hit the rock bottom that they keep talking about if he's on reality TV. I think that this literally provides him a platform. Like, you threw a coffee table. It's one thing when you hear someone say, oh, he flipped a coffee table, but really think about how violent that is. Imagine the coffee table in your house and someone flipping it and then it hits the other person's knee and they're screaming. That's abuse that should be snapping him out of it, but he's still justifying it. And I think that then he gets to go do the after show, so he gets to film a whole season, and then he gets to go to the after show and sit there with Tom Schwartz and Jesse talking about his perspective. And there is no perspective right now. I think at this point, this is irresponsible because everything he's saying is a lie. And they even talk about it in the after show, that Jax just lies. He lied, apparently, when Kristen first met him, he lied about having served in the Navy and being deployed to Afghanistan. This is serial killer shit. This is the stuff, if you watch enough true crime, we've heard it a lot on true crime. People who lie a lot, change their identity, shit like that. And I know that sounds extreme, and because he's on TV, it sort of felt controlled. But the way he spoke to Brittany and the way he kept looking at production, go do something about her, I think that the only way because then this begs the other question I have, and we'll obviously dissect this further in the episode. But can a narcissist, which Jax is, can a narcissist ever hit rock bottom? Because rock bottom it's personal to the substance abuser. I had what they call a high bottom. Chic, right? But if you ask anybody in recovery, they know what a high bottom is. It means it wasn't an extremely low place to then pull yourself out of. I still had my house. I still had my family, my friends. I didn't have to totally bottom out in the way that one would imagine. Jax might have to. I don't think Jax, and as long as someone is there to tell him that, yeah, it's kind of okay, I don't think he's going to ever hit a rock bottom. But we'll get further into that. So before I get all the way into it, make sure you are subscribed to the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, leave a little comment, say hi, and let's get into it. All right, so right off the top, Kristen goes over to Jax and has a pointless conversation. There was no point of her trying anymore. And she said herself in the after show, I've had that conversation with him countless times, and I've even had it since that conversation. So stop. I think we just need to stop communicating with him. And he will victimize himself for sure, which he does. When he has the nerve to say that no one's checking on him, what about me? I know it's been hard on Brittany, but it's been hard on me. And I found this Psychology Today article because I was looking up narcissists and accountability. And what is it? What is it? How do I put it into words? This is what this article from Psychology Today says. A trademark of a narcissistic personality disorder, or even a person with a high number of narcissistic traits, is this strange problem with accountability. Not only do narcissists lack the ability to give and truly mean empathy, but they consistently blame others for their own mistakes and feelings, and have an uncanny way of turning things around and making it someone else's problem. You are the crazy one, not them. You are at fault, not them. If you show them clear evidence of something they have done, they will deny it or say they don't remember it. They will say you took it wrong and will rewrite the narrative of what that meant. In this process, they are not owning anything about it. You just got it wrong. Yep, that's about right. And so you just go in circles. Like every time you make a point, like if a narcissist says something and then you respond to it, they move the goalpost. So now it's this actually. And so you go crazy trying to catch it because it starts to feel like you can catch it. Like you can eventually make sense enough to I've hit all your points, but it's never going to happen. That is a narcissist. Okay. Another thing he says straight up, which is the denial part of his narcissism, he denies ever calling Brittany fat. Well, in the after show, everyone's like, oh, we've all heard it. Brittany says that Jax told her her legs looked like tree trunks because of the stretch marks. That's how you know he really did call her fat, because that is so specific and terrible. Lala saw texts where he was telling her to get on a treadmill right after Cruz was born. Mm-hmm. And then Britt brings up, this is also very much an abusive thing to do. She says he never wanted me to vent to my friends, so he would try to make me feel like I don't have any friends because he didn't ever want me to tell the truth about our marriage, which brings Lala and Brittany to the point of, look at his Instagram. Like, I'm just mowing the lawn, doing the dad stuff. You know, I love being a dad around the house. And then Britt's like, yeah, so with everyone else, he wanted everyone to think that he loved me. He would say such nice things about me in public, but then to me, be horrible. He would talk about how like beautiful I was and amazing. And then he'd get home, tear into me. But then 30 minutes later, he'd act like nothing even happened. And Brittany says the thing that is what keeps people in way too long. It was just easier for me to go about my day. And I would hold it in. And then she talks about how she was breaking out in hives for a year. One of my best friends was in a long, like I'm talking 27-year relationship. And I would beg her to leave because I was like, this is awful. Get out of the relationship. You're miserable. She was breaking out in hives all the time. We were getting like calamine lotion, but I knew what it was. Soon as she left him, no more hives. So it's real. It also isn't that crazy too? How your body physically reacts to stress like that. That's nuts. She was like, I was throwing up all the time. Yeah, you were. I think everyone knew, like, at this point, she's sick of Jax. At this point, the stress of being with him constantly and the abuse, and then he would yell at her for it. Oh, God. Awful. Awful, awful. Okay, Zach goes over to Brittany's and they sit by the pool. Cruz is so cute in his little swim trunks. Oh, he's so cute coming out there. But see, Zach, I feel like I get why Zach wants to tell Brittany that Janet is manipulative, but you got to ease in. And so when Zach went as far as to say that Janet is as manipulative as Jax, I was like, oh, she's going to recoil from that. But I do see what you're trying to say, and I'm not against it. But like right now, you and Brittany are like mending things because she wasn't speaking to you for what you said last season. And I've seen some people talk about something Sheena said on her podcast, by the way, speaking of what Zach said last season. I guess Sheena said something like what Zach really said was he hoped that she unalived herself or just something really over the top bad. And I don't believe that because A, Sheena wasn't there. And B, Brittany told Janet what Zach said. And at no point would anyone have forgiven him if he had said, I think it was allegedly to Janet, that I hope you unalive yourself or something. It was a really extreme version of what Zach could have said. I guess I could see that Zach gets real mouthy, but I feel like they all just kind of deserve it so far that I've seen. I know it's a controversial, although I gotta say, I don't see a lot of people in my comment section at least being like, no, what Zach said was too far. A lot of people realize like he didn't say it. What's her name? Michelle said it. And then he was like, I don't care. Like, and Zach even says it was loud. I was drunk. Like it wasn't as awful as me saying with my own words, I hope she has a miscarriage at this point. Cause she was like 7 months, 8 months pregnant, wasn't she? Or was she not that pregnant? You know me. I don't know about pregnant stuff. So I could have swore she was like really far along in her pregnancy. But I don't think that's what he said. But like Sheena now in like just fanning the flame, I'm like, well, now we're talking something totally different. And now that is hard for me to wrap my head around. No one has said anything about that. No one has been like that part. I feel like Zach would have admitted that part. Like, I don't know. I think that Sheena got a little messy there by saying that. My number one beauty hack during spring and summer months, aka hot months, Lumi whole body deodorant. If you didn't know, you can get body odor in more places on your body besides under your arms. I'm talking anywhere, but especially the bikini area, if you know what I mean. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who was tired of the vagina getting blamed for odor in that area. That is actually how I found Lumi. I had a new smell coming from down there, and I thought, oh God, I have an STD. No, it was body odor. I used the Lumi whole body deodorant stick, and not only was there no odor, but it smelled like toasted coconut down there. Well, that's because that's the scent I got, but they also have scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage. They also just came out with vanilla bliss. Super cozy. It's like a pitch perfect mix of vanilla bean and sandalwood. Sweet, but not too sweet. Lumi is baking soda free, paraben free, and pH balanced for safe use below the waist. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off of their starter pack. Use code SHESPEAKS for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code SHESPEAKS at LumiDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. This conversation between Jesse and Michelle is, I think last season I said that the dialogue between them is like amazing scene work. Like if I was an actor and I was in acting class, I'd be like, we're going to do this scene with Jesse and Michelle because it is amazing. And so this is another one where I'm like, oh, you guys, like, I get that people hate Michelle. I see that a lot. Like people really don't like Michelle and are ignoring what Jesse says. And I'm kind of shocked by that. Like I get not liking someone, but I don't really see what a lot of people are seeing where it's like, no, Michelle is manipulating it to make Jesse look bad. I'm like, no, he's being okay. I don't really care for Michelle either. She's not my total cup of tea. But if I'm going Jesse and Michelle, I'm on Michelle's side in this scene. So here's okay. Let's go through the dialogue. Jesse goes, I've just decided at this point, we're not going to play the game of like, I'm going away, so you take her. And so Michelle says, we haven't played that game because I haven't gone anywhere. And then he goes, you've complained about New York. She says, I complained because you've gone on 4 trips in a short period of time. So what he's trying to do is put it on Michelle, like, we're not going to play this game where, like, you come drop off Isabella and whatever, when he's the only one who's doing that. He's the only one who's actually done it. Michelle has not. Michelle hasn't gone anywhere. And so I complained about you going on 4 trips in a short period of time. And then Jesse goes to what's very much narcissist behavior. He's like, for some reason, you can't grasp. And Michelle's not having it. She's like, oh, I actually know how to grasp. Okay. And then he tries it. He's like, Michelle. And Michelle hits him right back. Jesse. I'm telling you guys, if I was an actor still, we could be having, like, I would have a scene partner. This would be fun. But anyway, Jesse goes, here's the schedule now. You will have her all day Friday, all day Saturday, and you will drop her off to the nanny. Michelle then asks a reasonable question. Who's the nanny? Doesn't matter. It does matter. I don't have children, and even I know that. Okay. Gone are the days where you're dropping off a kid with like a 13-year-old babysitter, like me when I was 13 and like, yeah, I'll babysit your kid. I had no business taking care of children. Those days are over. We got to know who the nanny is. We got to vet them. But to say doesn't matter. Jesse goes, you can say whatever about my parenting. That's okay. It's just a reflection on who you are as a person because I am the best father to Isabella. Okay. Cut to his confessional. Okay. Where he goes, Michelle's narrative is that I'm an absentee father who is just doing my own thing, partying, going out to dinners, leaving Isabella with nannies and an iPad. Didn't you just say you were going to drop her off with the nanny? But then he goes, the reality is I am struggling every second of the day to try and balance my work life, my personal life, and my single dad life. I'm like, so you are kind of an absentee father. Like you just said that you're struggling to balance those things after saying you're going to just have her drop her off with the nanny, whoever, doesn't matter who it is. So you clearly are. But then Jesse starts crying about the holidays and how he doesn't want to be alone for both holidays. And Michelle looks cold as hell. And she's like, you love to cry. You always do this. You want people to think I'm cold and you're this sensitive person. You don't treat me like that. I'm like, to me, I see it. To me, I'm like, yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Like, she's like, oh, great. Here we go. Now you're going to cry. And now you're going to make me look on camera like I'm the shitty one. And Jesse says, I might get aggravated and I might get like resentful, but you're so angry. Why are you so angry? Please. Come on. She's like, I'm angry because you treat me like shit. You've told me multiple times that you don't give a shit that I'm the mother of your child. Jesse goes, I've never said that. Michelle says, I swear on my mother that you have said that to me. And he goes, well, but you also swore in Isabella's life that you didn't cheat on me. And you did. I think that, when a marriage is falling apart and it's not good, which we saw all last season, when you start to try to blame cheating, like she didn't leave you for another person. It's like when someone says it broke up my marriage, it's usually like that happened, we cheated, you knew about it, and we were done. No, the marriage was done, but he's trying to hold on for dear life to like blame because he can't face that he actually was the one. He admitted himself last season. He's like, we just went like this. I didn't really get into the whole like dad role right away, and Michelle did. And then by the time I was ready to come back, she was like, fuck you. So you sound like an asshole, right? Okay, back to the scene. Then Michelle goes, do you want to talk about the random girl you just started dating? You know what shit she says to my friends and other people? And then she goes, it's actually embarrassing. I feel sorry for you. She told people, including a friend of mine, that she's sleeping with someone else. And who was that friend? Sheena. I'm going to say something that might be not expected from me because my relationship with Sheena. My relationship. I can appreciate that Sheena always knows the tea. Last season on the after show on, or maybe that was 2 seasons ago. On the 2 seasons ago, Scandival season, in the after show, Sheena at one point was like, and I heard that Rachel and Tom are not even doing that good right now. That's what I heard. Been hearing about it. Because I'm like, bitch, she's everywhere. She's always communicating with somebody. She's tracking everyone's locations. So I do like that she's willing to. And then, can we call her? Of course you can. Sheena's ready. Excuse me. And she's like, yep, someone from Baywatch. Someone from Baywatch. The guy from Baywatch. Amazing. He's like, damn it. I was really hoping I was going to catch Michelle in a lie. Right? Oh, juicy. All right. More on that girlfriend of his later. First, let's go to yet another scene, which is why, like, this all feels so irresponsible. Jason and Danny just come over to have an intervention with Jax. I'm like, okay, guys, if we're really going to do something like this, let's be organized. Let's do it the proper way. But maybe they thought we could do it like, hey, we're your bros talking to you. Maybe if we say something, it'll help. But of course not. Because Jax is like, it's not as bad as, he says it's not as bad as they're making me out to be. And by this point, Brittany has called Alex Baskin and his publicist and been like, help, I need help. And so now Jax feels like everyone's like lying about him. Like all my people are lying about me. I'm not that bad. Yes, you are. And as Danny says, how much worse can it get, dude? What's bad? And that's my point. What's bad is way further down than we realize. I don't think Jax will go to depths of hell before he will admit that he's got a problem. And I feel like I'd like to know when because they usually get the premiere episode a little earlier, because the rest of the season they get them like a few days before they air. But I think they might have gotten the premiere episode way in advance, and I think that is why Jax wanted to do the second hot mic episode so that he could go on and be like, oh yeah, by the way, because cocaine's going to be brought up. And so I'm a coke addict. Yep, I'm addicted to coke. Yep, that's right. That was full damage control. And by the way, looking like he was fucked up on coke while he was saying it. His face was all red, puffy. Okay, but Jax, as he's listening to them, at one point, this is so manipulative. He goes, my dad is turning over in his grave right now because I'm going to go get help. Oh, shut the fuck up. They're like, no, your dad would be proud of you. And he's like, man. But then he says, yeah, this runs in my family. Like, my dad would lose it. My grandpa, same thing. Which is interesting because remember when his dad died and how much he idolized his dad and thought his dad was the best ever? That's interesting. But then Jax gets a phone call from a mental health facility, and the voice sounded like AI. I've seen a couple people talking about it online. The intake conversation was strange. This is my theory. My theory is that no one called him, but he wanted to get out of the conversation that he was having with Jason and Danny, because he even, like, once the call comes in, he's like, okay, guys, sorry, I got to take this. Get out. Like, get out. Bye. And they're just like, should we go? Okay, bye. I think he was having a fake conversation. And I think they put in the dialogue from the other side of the conversation. I mean, that's probably just ludicrous and I'm just being stupid, but I wouldn't put it past him. And we know he goes somewhere. I also don't think I knew that they talked about money like that. I don't know. Maybe they do. The whole thing did not seem normal the way that conversation went. So while that scene's happening, then the next scene is just Brittany, Janet, and Michelle going to lunch. And so it feels like what they're doing is being irresponsible with something that is clearly a problem. They're trying to document it and trying to show it on this TV show that we have the privilege of watching. But I feel like they need to have better protocol because you've created a monster and now no one can get a hold of him. No one can get him to calm down. But anyway, let's talk about the panties and the baby wipe. Okay, wait, hold on. Before I get into that, the way Brittany says thong is so fucking funny to me. A thong. There was a thong. It's like a 3-syllable word when she says it. There was a thong. I can't do it. She does it really funny. But in the after show, Jax's version of what happened and how the panties came into his possession it's absurd, okay? He goes, so Tom and I had a bar crawl. It's 99% girls. And if you saw the underwear, there was like a tag on it. And some girl just kind of threw their underwear. If you saw them, they're just like perfectly, there was no baby wipe or anything. Just the baby wipe just happened to be there. It was just an accident. But yeah, they were not dirty underwear. They're nobody's panties. Well, Luke was on the pub crawl and Luke is like, no one was throwing panties. Like, he just like, that doesn't even kind of happen. It just did not happen. So they also think either whoever the girl was, laid the panties and the baby wipe out, but I think Jax did. I think Jax Let's go with the bullshit that some woman, they did look like white underwear is unheard of. Like, I don't know any woman that voluntarily wears white underwear out. Unless it's like you knew you were going to go like hook up. So like you just put on the underwear to get over there and like to be sexy in, because it's normally like white is just not, just risky. It's just a risky thing. I don't know. So and they didn't look used. So I think that he did that on purpose to fuck with Brittany. I really do, because he was mad about Julian. And then he has to keep making up this lie. And then they all get it in the after. They all get into all the lies. They're like, Jax doesn't tell the truth. Oh my God, wait. Also in the after show, the eBay store Jax has. And he tries to be like, fuck it. Everyone wants to give me shit, but I don't care. Their press, he sells press packs to people. Like if he gets, and press packages have all sorts of weird stuff in them. So if he gets like a mascara in a press packet, he sells it on eBay. What a tool. What a fucking loser. And everyone gives him hell for it. And he gets like all defensive, but you deserve it. Okay. Ew. Now that the weather is getting nicer, that means outdoor activities such as amusement parks. Now, for some of us who have bad feet, bad ankles, bad knees, bad hips, the thought of an amusement park is basically torture. But I found Bionic shoes. And let me tell you, you can get through an amusement park if you're wearing Bionic shoes. Now, I personally have the Uptown Willa and the Uptown Loafer. Both are incredible and both are very stylish, might I add. But the shoe I got my eye on for my amusement park summer, the Walk Max. These are a highly technical shoe that is engineered for walking, but they will take you from errands to theme park days easily. The fusion between dynamic movement and grounded stability is how the exclusive VioMotion technology solves whole body balance. Let's talk about this VioMotion technology. All Bionic shoes have this technology. So they began by revolutionizing medical orthotics, and today they are committed to harnessing that medical foundation in the advancement of biomechanics to engineer significantly better performing shoes that strengthen your natural movement while aligning and balancing you feet first. I got bad knees, and when I wear the Uptown Willas, which are like part sneaker, part moccasin, very streamlined, very chic, my knees felt better. I was only running errands, but I'm just used to my feet, my knees, my ankles always hurting by the time I've walked for like 5 minutes, not even a long time. I was clearly using the wrong shoes. Bionic even offers a 30-day guarantee, so wear them, love them, or return them for a full refund within the 30 days. Use code SHESPEAKS at checkout for 15% off your entire order at www.bionicshoes.com when you log into your account, one-time use only. Bionic shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. When I started this podcast, I felt like I had to figure it all out on my own. So I just went with the trial and error method and made a lot of errors. Anytime you start anything new, you don't have a to-do list yet. So you keep just adding new tasks and it feels like you'll never figure it out. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but also simplifies everything is a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Household names like Mattel and Gymshark use Shopify. We use Shopify for our merch store. I love their design studio. They have hundreds of ready-to-use templates. You can then build your online store to match your brand's style. When I was trying to be a drop shipper, I struggled with product descriptions. Shopify has AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines. They can even enhance product photography. What about marketing? Shopify helps you easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns. If you are ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/she-speaks. Go to shopify.com/she-speaks. Shopify.com/she-speaks. Back to the lunch with the girlies. Jesse's girlfriend texts Michelle that she's going to sue her. And then Janet's like, oh, yeah, she said that to me at a party, that she's going to give us all cease and desists. But Kristen and Nia were like, no, we have not received that. I'm assuming Sheena would be included in that as well. But then this gives them the allegedly sign. So as Brittany's holding up this little, I want one. I want a big old poster board allegedly sign. That's great. But Brittany's like, oh, she told people at a birthday party that she was dating a guy from Baywatch, not Jesse. That was an awful Brittany. I'll get better into it, I promise. That was an awful Brittany. I take that back. But I feel for Michelle. I do. I feel like Jesse, we've seen Jesse be terrible, and I get that people don't like Michelle, but I'm just really shocked that they are like defending Jesse. But that's how good narcissists are. They're good. They're manipulative. They know how to fuck with the mind, you know? All right, let's get to the big scene. So Brittany goes to the house with Cruz, and there's this sinister shot of a playing card, like a seven of spades or something, over the security camera. And then some photos are turned around. It's sinister. It just feels icky. And there's a cup with lipstick on it in the fridge. Anyway, so Jax rides up on his golf cart and he starts kissing on Cruz. And she's like, don't kiss him on the face because you had a disgusting girl here last night. And then what does Jax do? Was Julian with you last night? Nope. And you know he wasn't. And this is just where it gets so dark because also, wait, sorry, before it gets too dark, the way Brittany says Zuli, do you want to take him to the park? It takes me out every time. And it's like, it's such a serious moment. And then, Zuli, do you want to take him to Sorry. Anyway, back to this. The way Jax flips things on her. And at one point, when they're upstairs in the bedroom and she's like, no, he's like, oh, you're hooking up with Julian. And she's like, no, I'm not. You need to get help. And he's like, okay, enough cameras. This is toxic. So she goes away, goes back downstairs. When he hears her say to production, I don't want to be here. Can everyone just come to my house? And they go, yeah, sure. He's like, oh, wait, that's not enough. So he goes down the stairs and he's like, I have all the texts, 5 months hooking up with Julian. I have all of them. And it's pointless, but he's just poking at her. He's just trying to poke at her to get her to stay and engage more in the fight, only so that he can treat her like shit. This was just so hideous, this whole scene, because it felt like if production wasn't there, I don't know what he would have done. And that's what it made me feel like, oh God, I can imagine what this home was like, because he feels like a monster. He does. And you can't get him under control. You can't make sense. And he won't take anything in. And I love that she was like, you need to be honest with the doctor and tell them that you have a coke problem. When she said coke, we were like, oh, she said it. But then he's like, oh, you haven't done it? And she goes, yeah, I have, but I could pass a drug test. Could you? And then he's like, all right, enough. Cameras off. No more cameras. No more filming. Because this motherfucker thought that she would keep his secrets forever. She has been keeping his secrets forever, protecting him. And she's like, I'm done. What's the point? And it's actually safer that she's just saying it in front of everybody, has all these witnesses, because I really was afraid for her safety. I'm not kidding. The way he gets so mad and needs her, he has no respect for her at all, which is classic with abuse cases. They don't respect the person. That's just the worst part about it. And so he looked. Oh God, I'm just getting, like my ex would be so impossible to talk to, but you still kind of go crazy trying to talk to them, and that nonsensical arguing, oh my God. And it's like, what made it so dark is this isn't his rock bottom. So what we're watching isn't the worst of it. This isn't an episode of Intervention, because in an episode of Intervention, they handle the topic much more responsibly because they kept cutting to his confessional still. In the middle of this scene, we're watching this man abuse Brittany, abuse the producer, like abuse everybody in there. It was really hard to watch. And then like cut into a confessional of him being like, I don't get it. Like she can hook up with Julian, but I can't have girls over. Okay, cut this shit out. We don't need, it's not a two sides to this story situation. The only side of this is Jax needed to go get help for the safety of everyone around him. Okay? So stop cutting over to his confessional like he's got a point. And then in the after show, he still gets to talk more and start to, it's time. It's time we lose Jax from reality television and let him go on whatever fucking journey he needs to go on, because as long as we give him this microphone to spew his bullshit, he's not going to hit rock bottom. Now, rock bottom, I know I said I would address this, so I'm going to get into rock bottom. It depends on the person. So Jax, his rock bottom is not going to happen when he still has a job, he still has a house, he still has access to his child, he still has friends. He is so stubborn and will avoid responsibility that he needs to have everyone cut him off. Every single person in his life needs to be zero contact. Because I could see Jax taken to the streets, not even kidding. I totally could. I could see Jax living on the streets and being like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like he's a few notches away from being that far gone. And I don't even know if it's like all drug related or anything. It's a full-on personality disorder. Like this guy is dangerous. And it's funny because it was always bad, but this is different. This is scary. So I know, and we know he's going to come out. He's going to come out early from rehab. He's going to leave in like 2 weeks. Not going to be any better. And I can't remember if Brittany said that the big fight they had that made him have to go back to rehab again, which he still didn't complete the 30 days. And I think it was right after cameras went down again that this big fight happened where she was going to take Cruz to a doctor appointment, but then Jax the night before was like, don't you fucking take my son to a doctor's appointment without me or whatever. And they fought in the car and he was so mean and loud and Cruz is in the back seat. And when they got to the doctor, she was like, do not come upstairs. But then he proceeds to come upstairs and then in the doctor's office, where you know how like you go into your little exam room and sometimes you can be in there for a minute. And you know, those walls are so thin. He comes in and starts yelling at her about being a whore and hooking up with guys and all this shit. And then when the doctor would come in, he'd be like, okay, hi, fine. But Cruz is in the room. Cruz can see that. Cruz is right there. And I know they could hear him. I know it. I can always hear another appointment when I'm in a doctor's office. So then that's when Brittany was, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not even done. Then they got back to the house and he had to like bring Cruz's stuff or something because his stuff was in his car. But Brittany was like, you got to go. And he wouldn't leave. And Zuli had to stand in the middle of them to be like, Jax, get out, go, leave. And since then, he's shown up at the house, not invited, not supposed to be there. She's filming him. Like it's terrorizing and it's scary. And he's not learned a lesson. So I feel so icky. I don't know how much more we're going to get of him on the show. I'm assuming when he comes out, they're going to start filming him again, but it feels so irresponsible. And then the fact that they gave him 2 fucking hot mic episodes where he just spewed a bunch of bullshit. Why is Brittany not getting asked to get Brittany on over and over again? Brittany should get at least 2. Come on. Did Brittany get 1? She got 1, right? Maybe not. Maybe she wanted it for her own podcast. But that's the part that I feel like they've invested again in Jax because they fired him and then they brought him back for this show. And I feel like they start to protect the company and be like, we can't make Jax look that bad. Because not like his hot mic episode made him look good, But the headlines sure started to, Jax admits to coke addiction and is sober. And all the headlines were like, congratulations. And people online were like, we should be supportive. I'm like, no, we're not playing this fucking game. No. So I think we could lose Jax and let his ass bottom out. Period. Okay. All right. I think I'm done talking about Jax. Very draining. Very, very draining. All right, guys, I love you so much. I will see you Sunday, 10 a.m. PT on YouTube with Kendrick for the wrap-up. If you can't make it, no problem. We'll always have it available for replay on every platform. And I love you so much. Mean it. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You can also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.